So that's why I spend a lot of time on the internet, being exposed to things I probably shouldn't have been exposed to. But honestly, that is how I learned a lot. And I also learned through my sister. I have an older sister. And I feel like she taught me a lot of things. She also suffered from things like depression and like anxiety and stuff. And so she was also that introduction. So I feel like from her, that's where I kind of gained a lot of like knowledge and stuff. But yeah, it wasn't really until school it was introduced, and then community college before I transferred, when I really started taking it seriously and like going to counseling and stuff.
I'm gonna jump off of what you said, which I think is very important. I grew up with very unrestricted access to the internet, which currently with like all the parents like having kids and stuff, I do think you should monitor what they're doing, what they're watching, what apps they can download, who they're talking to, especially Roblox if it's not safe. Anyways, back to what I'm actually trying to say. I had unrestricted access to the internet, and it led to grooming.
Me too.
Grooming
Hey.
online. Yes. So I was unfortunately groomed like many other children from the internet, and it's not fun, people. There are weird pedophiles online, and remember, women can be pedophiles too, especially with Haley Beck. Remember that, y'all. People are weird, even teachers.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You got it.
which leads me to my next question. Have you guys, it doesn't have to be like an actual romantic relationship, it could be friendship, stuff like that. Have you guys ever had a relationship that damaged you really, really negatively? Friendship, it could be your partner, it could be your friend, it could be your teacher, it could be your coach, that sort of stuff. That is my question.
My story falls directly related to that. It's a full circle moment. So I'm entering high school. Prior to my entering high school, I had started a relationship online with a man who was older than me. How old were you? I was about 14, 15, and he was like 22, 23. Zoinks. We met on this game. And so kind of what Jackie was saying earlier, Jackie or Nicole, they like mentioned the importance of going to school, because like there's a lack of like monitoring that you get at school that like teachers and faculty just pick up on based on the frequency that they're around you. So I was in a relationship with him, and it was very inappropriate, obviously. And it wasn't until I started entering high school, because this individual that I was with was dealing with really bad mental health problems, and he would project it all onto me, and I would therapize him. And so it wasn't until one day, while I was in school actually, we broke up. And from then on, I was fully able to like be free and to like not have that weigh on me as like I integrated into the school system, because I was also I started getting very busy with school. I didn't have time to like be online and stuff. So I just feel like, just to go back to that point of how important school can be for people and teachers to like recognize like when their students are like struggling.
Yeah, when I think mine is a bit later. Well, I was groomed as a child, but when I actually was in an actual relationship, I had just turned 18, and I was talking to this guy who at the time was 24, and I was graduating high school, and he was over here in the military. He was a medic, and I don't know what that is. Basically they just serve one weekend out of a whole like 3 months. That's what they're called. So they basically don't do anything. And you know, it was getting like, he would tell me things that were very secretive. He would tell me like, oh, he was a recovering alcoholic, and I, you know, like, if you're Hispanic, you're around like people who have struggled with like alcoholism, and I at the time didn't care. I still don't care. Like that was at least of my concerns, you know. And I don't know, I think he just started to get very controlling into our like 6 months in. He was just getting very controlling. He wanted access to my Snapchat, my Instagram, my Facebook, like basically everything. And I basically have people added from my high school, my middle school, so I try to have everyone added on those accounts just because, like, you know, I like to see how they're doing, you know? And so he found out that, like, you know, I was still keeping in touch with guys because I used to be friends with them in high school. You know, I still am. And he was getting very angry. He was just like, he started drinking more, and it just wasn't going down a very good path, you know? That started happening, and it just got, again, progressively worse and worse. And so this was the routine. So every Friday, we would start arguing at night. It was just routine. I was just like, oh, it's Friday, it's 6 p.m., got an hour till we fight. It was just routine, it was whatever. And so that was that. And then I was just like, you know, I'm gonna go out with my cousins, we're gonna go to the mall, I'm gonna have fun, it's gonna be a great day. And I tell him, and I'm